to Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today Around Kansas shares a story about Castle Rock in Gove County, a landmark for travelers on the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. Next, learn why the majority of immigrants coming to Kansas in 1870 were from Ireland. Then enjoy a poem from Ron Wilson, and we'll end with E.G. Ross, a U.S. Senator whose courage in voting his conscience sealed his fate as an outcast in Kansas. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road. Well, good morning. It's early in the morning. It's Wednesday, so this is Around Kansas. I'm Frank.
I must still be Deb.
We're still a little giddy from St. Patrick's Day, I think. I don't know.
Well, this.
Well, not the day, but the parade.
But the parade, everybody celebrated in Topeka on Saturday, but St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. But why not make it a week?
Hey,
why
yes.
not just make it an entire week?
Exactly.
Well, Frank, until I moved to Topeka, I didn't celebrate St. Patrick's Day because the Irish in my background is the wrong part of Ireland to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. The Scots-Irish who inhabit the mountains of Virginia, North Carolina are people who basically got kicked out of Scotland, then they got kicked out of Northern Ireland, so that's...
They were highwaymen,
That's my background. But so when I moved to Topeka, I fell in love with celebrating St. Patrick's Day. It's the best day of the year. Best day of the year.
It is. It's usually a pretty good party. I mean, the parade has grown and grown and grown over the years.
It's awesome.
And now, of course, there's the bed race too, that HCCI does, and I mean that has blossomed through the years too. If you've never seen the Great Bed Race, do so. That's in the morning before the parade, and it's really a fun thing to watch.
But there's celebrations going on all over the state, so figure out where yours is. I mean, Kansas City has a big celebration, and they just have them everywhere, little bitty towns, and of course the Kansas City Irish Fest is that. We'll have to look, maybe first weekend in October. It's one of those weekends where there's like 250 things going on. Mm-hmm. But in the fall, phenomenal. Oh my gosh, it's a great festival.
Well, Kansas City's St. Patrick's Day parade has always been a big deal too. I mean, it's big.
It is big. It is big.
So, well, and thing is I get to do the story on St. Patty's Day today. And that's good because actually my ancestors came over with William the Conqueror, so we're Norman and we're English and we are Irish. And Chafin is really the English pronunciation of the name. Chaffin is the Irish pronunciation of the name.
Have you ever been to Ireland?
No, I have not, but I would hope to sometime.
I hope to sometime too. Maybe they'll let me in maybe they'll let me in your part of Ireland. I don't mention too many surnames.
If you tell them your name, they go, we still have a warrant for your family.
We still got a warrant for you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Lecompton. The name was splashed across newspapers throughout America and Europe. It was debated in the halls of Congress. Lecompton interprets its unique territorial history with 2 museums and other sites. Events throughout the year celebrate history and community.
The 160th anniversary of the Battle of Fort Titus, June 18th, 2 p.m. Reenactors welcome. Call 785-887-6148 for more information.
Spend the day in historic Lecompton, shopping, eating, savoring the rich history.
Support Kansas agriculture education with an AgriTag. AgriTags are available anytime at your county treasurer. They look great on cars and trucks. For more information, go online to ksagclassroom.org.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life. And we're back. So, hey, now that we're getting into spring too, it's going to be a great time to maybe travel around and see some of the places we've told you about over the winter months anyway.
We should make a rock bucket list. You know, the travel and tourism has their bucket list, but we should just make a bucket list of rocks you got to see in Kansas.
There are a lot of rocks. There are a lot of trees too, but yeah, rocks.
It seems like every time we come on, we're talking about a different rock, but man, we got some great rocks. And I got to go to Castle Rock. I had never been to Castle Rock. I've been to Monument Rocks in Gove County, but I had not been to Castle Rocks until just a couple of weeks ago. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to go back and explore. Cannot wait. And it is south of Quinter, so Quinter is like up near the interstate. But if you keep going south of Castle Rock and go on down to Utica, and Utica is a very, very small town, but there is a phenomenal restaurant. It is called the Wertz Street Social Emporium.
It's called what?
The Wertz, W-E-R-T-Z, Street Social Emporium. And it is owned by Mark Bauer, and it's been several things over the years, but he put a restaurant in there in 1992 and has expanded it ever since. So it's got all kinds of dining rooms and party rooms and a couple of bars and just all kinds of stuff. It's awesome. The food was wonderful, phenomenal steak. So yes, stop in when you make your trip to Castle Rocks or Monument Rocks or Pawnee Rock or Point of Rocks or any of the rocks you plan to see. Stop in Utica and tell Mark I sent you over.
You're just shameless to get a free lunch, aren't you?
Honey, that steak was so good. So good. Yes, I will talk for food. Yeah, we'll talk for food.
Okay, so are we ready for Castle Rock then?
I think we are. Let's take a look. The bluff at Castle Rock rises over the Hackberry Creek Valley of Gove County plains, visible for miles and miles. Castle Rock stands about a quarter mile away to the north. Made of Niobrara chalk, it was an odd landmark for folks passing along on the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. The formation literally looked like a castle rising in the distance. Though nature carved the unique installation through erosion, folks were terribly disappointed when the taller spire of Castle Rock partially collapsed on July 22, 2001, after a thunderstorm. The great puzzle of Castle Rock is why it persisted when all the rock between it and the bluff was eroded away. The bluff itself is a series of eroded formations called hoodoos and are just as interesting as the castle and quite extensive. The flat grassy area is chalk flat prairie, dominated by little bluestem, side oats, grama, and saltgrass. Many wildflowers bloom from late spring to early fall. Lesser earless lizards, ornate box turtles, plains garter snakes, and western hognose snakes are found in the area. Western rattlesnakes may be present, so look where you step.
Watch for great horned owls that nest in the Hoodoo area. Look for shark's teeth and other fossils among the chalk rocks and gravel, since this area was once the bottom of a large ocean. This is private land, so be respectful. There are no restroom facilities, so plan accordingly. Also, the roads are not paved, so use common sense in case of wet weather. When the planets are aligned for your visit, plan to go and spend some time exploring.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I want to do it. So we did it, and it worked. And I'm not going to go out and dig trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Heinen Brothers, a fourth-generation Northeast Kansas farm family, knows how tough farming can be. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag, selling and servicing crop protection products, fertilizer, anhydrous ammonia, cover crops, quality aerial and ground application. Call today to learn about our extended term financing program. 800-760-4964. HeinenBrothersAg.com.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. A high-energy, drought-tolerant crop, sorghum only requires 6 inches of water to produce the first bushel. And with its wide uses and easy adaptation, sorghum proves to be a truly indispensable crop. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Find out more at kansasgrainsorghum.org.
I love St. Patrick's Day. I just love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so becoming. That hat is so you, Frank.
So, well, I have this one too.
It's obvious you have an Irish background. Doesn't he wear that well?
So anyway, well, yeah, I mean, of course the Irish were not exactly welcomed to the shores of the US of A when they came. You do remember that.
This is true. This is true. If you want to see a great movie about that, Gangs of New York.
Oh, yeah.
During the Civil War, so the Irish are getting off and enlisting. They've got the coffins coming back from the South, and the Irish are getting, just signing up to be citizens and soldiers, and they're sending them south to fight, and it's a great scene.
And then they became the police force, the coppers, and so
the firemen and all those service jobs. Yeah.
So it's. But anyway, they began to move west, and of course that's what the story is about. And the immigration of the Irish into this part of the country.
Which is pretty significant.
Yes, it is.
And here in Topeka, some of my favorite folks are the Foxes, who of course have the Celtic Fox, the Irish pub here downtown, and I can't imagine this town without them. Just can't imagine this town without them.
Well, and one of the longest running radio shows in Topeka is the Merle Blair Sunday Show.
Oh,
and of course Merle is really Irish, and so last Sunday he played all kinds of Irish music for his 4 hours on the air.
Yeah.
He's done that for, 50-some years now. So.
Absolutely, and he's got the head of hair to prove he's Irish, doesn't he?
That's right.
That thick, silver, wavy hair, that's right. Yeah, he's something.
So, anyway, we're going to talk about the immigration of Irish people into Kansas.
And we are so glad you came.
In 1870, the majority of immigrants to Kansas came from the British Isles, and particularly Ireland. In 1871, Thomas Butler, an Irish priest in Leavenworth, wrote a pamphlet encouraging Irish people to move to Kansas. The Irish have always immigrated to the U.S. to escape extreme poverty and a lack of opportunity. Irish immigration exponentially increased, however, as a result of the Great Potato Famine between 1845 and 1849. Catholic churches in the state increased from 3 in 1854 to 45 in 1871. In his pamphlet, Butler appeals largely to the practical reasons to move to Kansas. Butler writes a favorable description of Kansas and emphasizes the economic, health, and cultural opportunities. He details how immigrants can acquire land and describes life on the prairie. He also describes the health benefits of Kansas climate and comforts prospective immigrants with descriptions of well-established Irish communities in Kansas, particularly those in Leavenworth. Although Father Butler's pamphlet focuses on the Irish in Kansas, it also provides a snapshot of the state in 1871. Butler's pamphlet can be read at kansasmemory.com. Throughout Kansas, remnants of this Irish immigration may be found in Catholic churches with the statues of St. Patrick, the island's patron saint who drove out the snakes, or in the Celtic crosses that dot cemeteries. But mostly, that legacy lives on in the red hair and freckles of many Kansans. On St. Patrick's Day, the wearing of the green transforms our largest cities with parades and celebrations, and some smaller towns join the party as well. So let's mark the day with an Irish blessing. May your blessings outnumber the shamrocks that grow, and may trouble avoid you wherever you go. Happy Paddy's Day!
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
Around Kansas, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
When I travel far outside of Kansas and I tell people I am from the state of Kansas, I get one of three reactions. Number one, they say, "Oh, Kansas City?" Number two, they say, "Oh, I drove through there one time." Or number three, they'll make a Wizard of Oz joke. And I think Kansans sometimes get tired of hearing about the Wizard of Oz, but maybe it's a thing we're known for best. This poem is entitled The Yellow Brick Road. In the history of Hollywood, one show which gives me pause is that infamous movie known as The Wizard of Oz. It's about Dorothy from Kansas and how the tornado made her go off to the land of Oz, somewhere over the rainbow. She met some little munchkins and traversed the yellow bricks to a wizard and wicked witch who did a lot of tricks. Dorothy had this adventure with her little dog Toto and joined the Cowardly Lion, Tin Man, and of course the Scarecrow. It's a classic movie that's become known worldwide about this Kansas girl who took this wondrous ride. But I think many Kansans think this story's not so great because Dorothy is all some people know about our state. So we've learned that smiling patiently is the best thing we can do when some East Coaster cracks a joke about Dorothy and Toto too. But we also remind them that wherever Dorothy would roam, her entire goal was to get to Kansas, because there's no place like home.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
We do business with Blueville because of the quality of their work. It is excellent quality, and because they make a commitment to their customers.
We enjoy the benefits of hiring a good company to help us maintain this home.
We will always do business with Blueville. We have for many, many years, and there's no reason for us to look for any other service.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Around Kansas, brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. Go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter. And here we are again. Aren't you happy?
I'm happy. You know, and this next story is one that I love. This is one of my favorite stories about Senator E.G. Ross of Kansas. And I thought, given the political climate, Frank, that it would be appropriate to talk about a decent man and how he was treated, how this one decent man got treated. But I think it is really important, too, to remember, in light of the political climate, there are a lot of decent people out there in public service. And I have to give a shout out. One of my dear friends passed away recently, and he's known to so many people around Kansas, and that was Command Sergeant Major retired Jack Elliott. And he was the Command Sergeant Major for the Kansas National Guard. He actually served 42 years active duty, an amazing man. And at his funeral, there were so many officers, Medal of Honor recipients, the Adjutant General, you know, all these people came to show their respects. But the most poignant eulogy came from his great-grandson that Jack has helped raise. And he's in the Marine ROTC at Topeka High, and talked about his great-grandfather and what he'd done for him. And it was just beautiful. So there are still really incredible men of integrity and women of integrity among us, and so maybe we should take a little time to take a closer look sometimes and see who they are and what they contribute. So just a little shout out there.
Well, and also the senator you're going to talk about was ailing, quite ailing during the impeachment trial of Johnson at the time. And they actually carried him in to have him cast his vote. And of course, you're going to tell him what the vote was.
Well, bless his heart. It's an incredible story. And it's a kind of a mixed legacy, you know, since he was basically run out of Kansas. Hugh Cameron, remember we talked about him a few weeks ago, the Kansas hermit, actually walked to Santa Fe, New Mexico, to apologize to former Senator Ross at one point. So it's just a really big story, and we're sharing just a little bit of it with you today, but we hope that you find some inspiration in it.
When he passed away in 1907, newspapers proclaimed that he died in exile. That is pretty accurate. The once popular publisher and U.S. Senator Edmund G. Ross was no longer welcome in Kansas. He eventually left, financially and emotionally devastated, and moved to the New Mexico Territory. President Grover Cleveland appointed him territorial governor, but he would never recover his fortune, and it would take generations for his prestige to return. To understand the story, we must go back to Abraham Lincoln and Jim Lane. For many legitimate reasons, the bizarre Kansas senator had become a favorite of Lincoln's. The relationship gave Lane great power. With Lincoln's death, Lane's star not only waned, but plummeted. He was facing possible criminal charges when he committed suicide in 1866. In his place, the very capable E.G. Ross was appointed. He had not been in Washington long when the move to impeach President Andrew Johnson gained momentum. Radical Republicans sought the president's removal, and Ross was expected to go along with them. He didn't. It was Ross's no vote that sealed his fate as an exile and as a hero in the history books, earning him inclusion in John F. Kennedy's Profiles in Courage. Ross cast that historic vote, understanding full well the cost. Everything an ambitious man holds dear, he had said, he knew he was losing. When the Rosses returned to Topeka, they were insulted, assaulted, spit upon. One of the most poignant monuments to the price of conscience is in historic Topeka Cemetery, where the Ross family plot is empty, save for the grave of his 4-year-old son. Had things been different, father and mother would lie beside the little one, and there would be a huge granite marker with Ross etched upon it. Instead, the toddler's flat marker is barely noticeable.
Well, it looks like it's it for another week, so I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And we'll see you somewhere around Kansas. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy Stream. We're the best part of Dorothy Stream.
To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agamandkansas.com.